So, what we are expected to study is about there are two areas are the one we have to see different types of nutrition, and second we need to study about what are the different nutritional requirements of human beings. So we are starting with the nutritional requirements of human beings, and this is something you already know because you have been studying in high school classes, plus two classes, that there are different types of nutrients are there. We have studied about carbohydrate, proteins, fats, etc. And you have also studied about minerals, vitamins, etc. So here we go through a brief idea. There are six major categories of nutrients: carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, along with the water. These are the six categories of nutrients. We broadly divide these nutrients into two categories. The first category is known as a macronutrient. Macro means larger, bigger, etc. So macronutrients normally means nutrients which are needed by human beings or animals in larger or bigger quantity. They are known by the name macronutrients. And in that category, this is because the macronutrients are needed by the body in higher doses or higher quantity. So there are three major type of macronutrients, and they are known as a carbohydrate. So coming to carbohydrate, for example, today every morning you will be eating either putta, dosha, appam or something. All these are actually carbohydrate. For lunch also you will be having chora or rice. That is also carbohydrate. Then, most of the food items that we are taking are basically some kind of carbohydrate. And here you can see the rice, wheat, fruits, vegetable, legume. They are actually rich in carbohydrate. They are mostly containing carbohydrate, and their main role in our bodily function is to provide energy. For example, when we are eating some carbohydrate like put or dosa or idli, etc., and for some 2-3 hours we feel that we won't feel any difficulty, but by after 3 hours or 4 hours we start feeling hungry because the carbohydrate we have taken is already used up. It's like a car is using petrol or diesel. Our body is using up this carbohydrate as a fuel for producing energy, and using that energy different systems in our body will be working. Mainly our body is producing energy in the form of glucose. That glucose will be converted into an energy form known by the name ATP, and that ATP is actually used by our body for various functions of our body. So that is why after 3 or 4 hours we feel hungry, and that is a message by our body to eat more or fill our tank again. So that is a message given by our body. So that function is mainly done by carbohydrate. So normally here you can see that around 45 to 65% of our daily food intake should be in the form of carbohydrate. So that is the main function of carbohydrate. And second is about the protein. Now coming to protein, you have studied that proteins are the building blocks of our body. So almost your cell membrane. You take our body is mainly formed of different type of cells, and each cell will be having a cell membrane. And cell membrane are actually mainly protein. Some kind of proteins or phospholipids will be there. So nearly the main function of protein is to build up your body and also repair your body. These are the building and repairing your body tissue. These are the primary goals of protein, and there are different types of enzymes are there, and also hormones are there. And these hormones are all biochemically mostly protein hormones are there. Then some are steroid hormones or fat related hormones are there, and we have antibodies in our immune system. These antibodies are also protein. So this is an idea regarding how proteins are involved in your body. Proteins are helping in building your body, repairing your body, and acting as an enzyme, acting as hormones, and also acting as antibodies. Now here, what are the main sources of protein? For example, meat. Meat is rich in protein. The milk you take. Milk is also contain a lot of protein. Then egg you take, the egg white is actually protein. Then in vegetables, most of the dairy products will be containing protein. Then soya products, soya bean product, they also are rich in protein. So these are the common food substance which contain a lot of protein. And here you can see that 10% to 35% of our food intake should be containing protein. So that gives you, that is nearly 10 to 34% of our daily calories should come from protein. That is, even if you are eating a lot of rice, chapati or other thing, our body has a strong need to have a lot of protein. You can see that nearly one third of our energy should come from protein. That is why every day you should eat at least one egg and one glass of milk. If you are having that habit till the end of your life, that will be giving you enough protein that will keep you healthy. Because most of the time we do not have the habit of taking egg. Because one egg is containing a lot of protein, and eggs are also rich in a lot of vitamins, colorants, etc. If you have the habit of taking one egg every day, that also helps you to keep your body in reducing your weight also. Because one advantage of egg is that if you take for the morning breakfast one boiled egg, and you are reducing your other content like it's puttu or dosha. For example, instead of taking idli, you are taking one idli less, and instead of one that idli, you take a boiled egg. Now you can feel after one week, you can feel that you don't feel hungry by 11:30 or 12, because the egg will be slowly digested. And if you are taking idli for that, that idli will be digested very fast. Then what happens? You will be taking some snacks. So that will be increasing your overall calorie intake, and that will make you more fat. So this is the advantage of increasing protein, and that the same effect is also for the milk. Now before sleeping every day, by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you should have a one glass of milk. And that milk is containing protein. And that one advantage of milk is that milk contains a kind of biochemical called tryptophan. And tryptophan in the milk will help you to sleep faster. So it's a sleep-inducing thing. So having one egg and one glass of milk every day is something everybody should do. But some people do not do this. And this is also, people think that taking this will increase your body. But actually reverse is happening. And you can practice from you can experience it in your daily your personal experience also. So because if you have the habit of taking egg contain a lot of things, even for reducing hair fall, because eggs contain a protein or a substance known as choline. So choline will be preventing the loss of hair. So we have a natural mechanism. You know that how these hair fall preventing medicines are called. They are very costly, but by a natural way you can already use this. So this is the importance of protein. Proteins are very important. Then you can see that there are two types of protein. One is a complete protein, other is known as a incomplete protein. So from the word complete, the proteins are mainly amino acid. The building blocks of proteins are amino acid. And there are 20 amino acids are there, and most of these amino acids, some of these amino acids are needed by your body, and they are known as essential amino acid. And mostly our non-vegetarian food like eggs, milk, meat, etc., they contain most of the all essential amino acid. So they are known as a complete protein. If a complete protein they contain all the essential amino acid. But most of the vegetable protein may not be containing all the essential amino acid. Some may be missing, like beans, lentils, etc. One or more essential amino acid may be missing in that. So they are considered as incomplete protein. So complete protein and incomplete protein are actually coming from this. Now another is the fat. In coming to fat, fat provide you energy. That is one important advantage of fat digestion, because fat will give you energy. And advantage of fat is that from 1 gram of fat you will be getting 9 kilocalories of energy. Energy are usually measured in kilocalories. But if you take 1 gram of carbohydrate or 1 gram of protein, that will only give you 4 kilocalories of energy. So from 1 gram of fat, double the calories are there. So that is why our body is storing energy in the form of fat. For example, if our body is storing energy in the form of a carbohydrate, the bulk of our body will increase. So, in a smaller space, fat can keep more energy compared to the carbohydrate. So, if your body has a tendency of, if nature has a tendency of keeping energy in the form, fat will be more double the size than what we normally have there. So that is why body is using fat as an energy reservoir or storing energy in the form of fat. And fat will be also contained in vitamin A, D, E and K, and these are also very valuable for that, and many of our internal organs are actually protected by fat. See here you can see that our most of our vegetable oil, nuts etc., seeds etc., butter and fatty fish, all these will be containing a lot of fat, especially for different type of fats are the polyunsaturated fat. Here you can see that normal intake of fat should be 20 to 35%. It should not be above 35%, but it should not go below 20%. That should be the range of a daily intake of fat. Then you can see that there are two categories of fat primarily. One is known as saturated fat. That is based on the amount of double bonds in that. And in chemistry, you may be studying about both saturated and unsaturated. But here we look at the functional meaning of that. Here, saturated fats are mostly present in animal food, animal meat. You take chicken meat or cow, buffalo meat or cow's meat, they are all containing saturated fat. Whereas if you go to the plant fat, like vanaspati, etc., they all contain unsaturated fat. And unsaturated fat are generally considered more good for your body, especially for your heart. And in case of unsaturated fat, you can see that our vegetable oil, like coconut oil, soya bean oil, all will be containing this unsaturated fat, and nuts and seeds also containing unsaturated fat. Then another type of fat is the trans fat. These are not natural fat. Natural fats are either saturated fat or unsaturated fat. Our industrial processing of many things, for example dairy, that will be increasing the amount of fat in that. And that kind of industrially processed fat are known by the name trans fat. For example, most of our fast food thing, they will, for example, burger, etc. All these will be containing a lot of industrially processed, artificially created fat, and they are rich in fat content. And eating that, you will be increasing the fat intake in your body several times. So than the normal level. So this is an idea of different type of fats and the value, importance of fat in your body. Now coming to the next category, that is the micronutrients. In case of micronutrients, you can see that micro means very small, trace. And sometimes they are known as a trace elements also. In botany you may have. So same thing, here these nutrients are required in smaller amount, very smaller amount, but their absence in the body can create a lot of problems, especially deficiency disease. You might have heard of vitamin deficiency, mineral deficiency, etc. So under the micronutrients mostly comes the vitamins and minerals. Now here you can see that vitamins are having a very important role. They will be acting as enzymes, enzyme cofactors. They will be important in immune function, and they are also responsible for healthy skin, vision, bones, etc. Here we have a short list of what are the important type of vitamins and what are the main role. For example, coming to the fat soluble vitamin. Fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E and K. Here you can see that vitamin A are mainly responsible for good vision. For example, our body contain, our eyes contain a pigment known as rhodopsin. Where is rhodopsin present? It is present in your retina. In the retina, there is rod cells are the rod cells containing a pigment known as rhodopsin. This is something you may have studied in your high school or plus 2 classes. So rhodopsin, for formation of rhodopsin, you need vitamin A. If vitamin A is not there, rhodopsin may not be formed, and people will be having difficulty seeing in night. Especially roads are helping in night vision or poor light vision. So absence of vitamin A will lead to poor development of rhodopsin and poor development of your rod cells. Then second is the bone, vitamin D. Vitamin D is mainly responsible for good bone health and calcium absorption, and they are primarily obtained from fish and sunlight. So if we are living in a tropical country, so we get a lot of sunlight, so that we never feel any deficiency of vitamin D. But on the other hand, if you are going to live in a temperate country like in Norway, Sweden, or Iceland, or northern part of Russia or Siberia, people there, they will be daily taking vitamin D as tablets because they do not get sunlight. There are many places in Norway and those areas where most of the time, for example, out of 24 hours, 20 hours will be night. During winter, 20 hours will be night. Only 3 or 4 hours will be having sunlight. In some cases, there will not be any sun day also. There is there are areas where 6 months of night and 6 months of day. Such places are there. You might have studied also. And one important problem with the vitamin D is that vitamin D is needed by your body for the health of your bone. That's very important because in the absence of vitamin D, a type of disorder known as rickets. We have studied that about rickets. Rickets will be developing. Now, that is one important thing. But there is another psychological side. When we do not take vitamin D, that will create depression. So there is there is something you might have but if you have any friends or relatives working in European country, they have the habit of taking vitamin D because if they don't take vitamin D, depression will develop. Sometimes suicidal feeling. This is one problem of living in temperate countries where when sunlight is too less because our brain has a chemical known as dopamine and also melatonin. If these two, dopamine and melatonin, are normally produced when we are exposed to sunlight. So when we do not get sunlight, these chemicals may not be produced in the normal level, and that will create a feeling of depression, in some people suicidal feelings also. So that is one problem for children, students who are going to these places. They do not immediately realize that until somebody tell you this is the problem. So these students, especially when we go there, we have to take a daily intake of vitamin D to keep our bones healthy and also for keeping our mind and brain healthy. Then vitamin E. Vitamin E are normally obtained from, vitamin E is an antioxidant. What is an antioxidant? You know that oxygen means O2. And if you cut that oxygen into two, it is O plus and O plus. Right? And each O is a very dangerous chemical. They will attack anything and destroy it. And that is known as oxidation. So that oxidation then is actually damaging most of our cells and tissues. So there are certain molecules which prevent this oxidative damage. They are known by the name antioxidant. Antioxidant, something that prevent oxidation damage, are known as antioxidant. And vitamin E is an important antioxidant. What is the advantage of antioxidant? More antioxidant we are taking, more healthy we are, and less slowly we will be aging. So that is that is the advantage. There is nothing that prevents damaging our body. Mainly anti-oxygen radicals are damaging it. So when these antioxidants are preventing it, our skin and will be remaining more healthy, and people will remain more young. Then another vitamin is vitamin K. Vitamin K are normally present in green leafy vegetable, and this vitamin K is important for clotting. And clotting is taking place in number of steps. Some 12 or 13 important factors are needed for blood clotting to happen normally, and they are known as clotting factors. And one such is known as a vitamin K. In the absence of vitamin K, this clot formation, that will not be taking place, and there will be problems with blood clotting also. Then along with that, so these are the details of vitamin, fat soluble vitamin, and we have also water soluble vitamin. There are two, vitamin C and B complex. Coming to the C, C is very important because C is normally present in lemon, orange, etc. or citrus fruit. Earlier you might have heard about a disease called scurvy. People who are traveling in ship, for example 100 years or 200 years back, most of the international transport are in the form of ship voyages, sea voyages. And these people may not be getting enough fresh fruits. So when they do not take this citrus intake, like oranges, etc., they will be having this problem known as scurvy. Scurvy is a dangerous disease. It can kill the person also. So it's in the beginning it will be a problem with the gum, skin, etc. But finally that will lead to death of the patient. Then B complex vitamin, you know what will happen if you when you take an antibiotic. This antibiotic will be killing most of your beneficial bacteria which are producing these B complex vitamins in your body. So then doctor will be giving you B complex vitamins also along with the antibiotic. Because what happens is that most of the antibiotics will kill the naturally occurring B complex developing, vitamin B developing bacteria. So when you take antibiotic for 1 week, for some time there will not be any B complex, and you feel that mouth ulcer. Mouth ulcer will be developing in your body. There is some immediate reflection. So B complex vitamin have an important role. They have nerve function and also energy metabolism. And all these are actually controlled by B complex vitamin. Then minerals are there. Coming to minerals, minerals have a lot of role, especially in the development of bones and also for development of teeth and also metabolic process. Here also you can see that there are two categories of minerals. One is known as a macro minerals and other is known as a trace minerals. Now coming to the macro minerals, these are the main one: calcium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium and magnesium. These five are the main minerals which are needed by your body in higher quantity. And for example, calcium. Without calcium, health of the body will be very poor. Then finally we have trace minerals also. So that's regarding the minerals, etc.